It seems like everybody's been asking me the same question about the same game lately. Have I played Undertale? All I'm thinking is, what the heck is Undertale? Let's just jump right in, or fall right in. The game opens with the opening cutscene that talks about how long ago there were two races that ruled over Earth. Humans and monsters. One day, a war broke out between them, and after a long series of battles, the humans were victorious, and the greatest magician sealed the monsters underground with a magic barrier. However, the barrier is not sealed perfectly, and there's only one entrance to the underground, and that is on Mount Ebott. Ebott? Ebott. 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 Many years after the war, a human child falls down through Mount Ebott into the ruins. What the heck does that remind me of? Yeah, it must just be a coincidence. And the first thing we gotta do is name our protagonist. I don't think anybody is gonna care, but I'm just gonna put the name that I want to go by, and there. Jeffro! And upon giving control over your character, he wakes on a bed of flowers. I wonder where Eris is. But to be completely honest with you, I didn't really know where to go. How the heck do I get out of this room? There's really just walls and barriers, and it doesn't let me go up this little area where it looks like I can go up. Oh, you can go through the walls. How about that shit? That wasn't obvious at all. Upon exiting the room, we find a flower named Flowey. I mean, that's not really a really creative name, but he explains to us how the battle system works, which is really nice of him. Until he turns out to be a big jerk. Oh man, oh god, oh no, oh man. But that's when this lamb lady shows up, and her design is very original. It looks a lot like the Nummus from freaking Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. Anyway, she gets rid of the flower with some fire magic, and then she has us follow her, which doesn't really seem like the best idea, but I think I'm just gonna pursue, just because I don't really know where to go. She explains her name is Toriel, and she tells us about how the underground works, and it's a series of puzzles that you gotta go through to get out of the dungeons. Kinda like Zelda. She even gives us a better introduction to the battle sequence by fighting this dummy. Take that! Da 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 da. What the fuck? What do you mean I got zero experience? The battle system actually encourages players not to fight. If you could settle your conflict without actually having to pull a punch, you actually grow more love, and that's how you grow levels in the game. Or I wouldn't necessarily say levels, but that's how you get stronger. Wow, a game that doesn't encourage violence. That's a first. Actually make that second. Anyway, we continue our journey underground, solving simple puzzles and getting into little battles in the process. I even fought this frog. I tried to compliment him, but he didn't understand me, so Toriel then came into battle, and she managed to scare him off by giving him the stare. Awesome. Anyway, I can't help but feel that Toriel kinda has this thing for our protagonist, like a motherly love type of thing, and not the sexual kind. Anyway, she asked us to do something very simple for her, and that's to walk down this hallway while this awesome music plays. There you are! You can't hide from little old me. Turns out that it was all just a test, just to see if we could fend for ourselves and handle being alone. I think my dad has tried this on me, but I actually managed to find him in the bathroom, but I don't think he was hiding. Anyway, since this is the new age in the millennium, Toriel has other work that she needs to do, so she gives us a cell phone. Sweet, I just got me an Android 6. So we continue our quest alone in this dark, dank cave place. And now that we're alone, we can actually battle the frogs that meow. And now I can give you a better description of how this battle system works. You see that heart? That represents your character and their health. It functions a lot like a cursor that you can move around, because when the enemies attack, there are small little tidbits come into your box and you're trying to constantly avoid them, so you don't lose any health, or love for that matter, because all the enemies are typically reluctant to attack you. Because remember, we're trying to befriend the enemy and trying to have a peaceful way of resolving our conflict. Are you fucking kidding me? You really want me to befriend this frog that's hitting me and is reluctant about it? You know what? I'm reluctant to smack this motherfucker! And the frog suffers more of my wrath if I could get this centered, this thing. I don't really know how to describe it, but Ultimately, this thing represents the innovation when it comes to the battle system, because most games will normally do something like timed hits or maybe like constant spamming of buttons. I don't really know what the Eye of Aragon is supposed to represent, but the objective is to time it right and get it right in the center, and you do the most damage. And I kind of like it like that. Now, here comes my first puzzle that I gotta solve all by myself. I'm gonna fall down this hole. I'm gonna fall down this hole. I already see the cracks. I know I'm gonna fall down this. Whee! Puzzles are fun!
Boom, 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 boom.
I just wanna get out this cave and get the heck out. I just wanna get out this cave and do a monster girl with a snout.
Rest.
I don't wanna show no mercy to these monsters that keep hitting me.
Rest.
I know I'm supposed to show them love, but they can all just suck my D. My D!
Anyway, after transversing through the dungeons, going through all the horrible puzzles, but eating a lot of delicious enemies, we meet back up with Toriel, and she happens to live in Tazmily Village. She was nice enough to make us a cinnamon pie, but she was also nice enough to give us a room, and even call us her child. Aw, shit. It seems to me that somebody's a little lonely and they don't want us to go anywhere. And I can't really help that, because, you know, I like to be around people, because I only like to hang out with animal people on Saturdays. The problem is, though, Toriel doesn't want us to leave. And to make sure that we don't get the wrong idea and try to ditch her, she goes off to destroy the one and only exit out of here. Okay, lady, don't you think that's a little bit excessive? This is starting to turn into like a Stephen King novel. Anyway, she guards the gate and doesn't allow us to leave unless we battle her to show that we could really survive on the outside, because there are monsters out there, even more ferocious than her. I take that as an understatement, because this bed is more ferocious than her. But I don't step down from a challenge. We engage into a hot battle with Toriel, and my gosh, she is really strong. The only problem is, she's kinda kicking my ass, but she becomes hesitant once my HP gets too low, and you can actually see it in her face. It's quite obvious that she doesn't want to hurt me, and it's really up to me if I want to end the battle with her dying or with me sparing her life, and I'm really choked up on the decision that I would have to make. How can I hurt this ungulate woman who's showed me so much love and compassion? All she wants to do is just protect me, and here I am fighting through her, just so I could be with my parents once again. The decision is pretty obvious. Bitch, if you don't get your fat ass out of my way, she'll turn your ass into sweatpants. In her final breath, she actually tells us to beware and not to lose our soul to Asgore, because he cannot succeed. And with her last breath, she managed to call us her child one last time. Now I kind of feel like an asshole. Roll with it. Speaking of assholes, we see this stupid flower again once we leave. He explains how much of a fool Torelli was for trying to protect us humans, because she could not even protect herself. He laughs at us as he tells us that it's killed or be killed out there, and then after that he disappears. Fuck that flower, he's a troll. I'll show him that I could go out into the world and I could survive no matter where I am, in the monster world, in the human world, and then after that we'll see who's the one who's feeble. Just you watch. I got this game in the bag. I'm gonna go through this door and the demo's over. It was all just the demo. But it gave me a taste of what the game is actually like. And the way I describe this game is like Cave Story had sex with Earthbound, and they gave birth to Undertale. The game was created over the span of 3 years, all by Toby Fox, who created pretty much 90% of the game, which is actually pretty impressive. This battle system is so unique. You're able to actually move around and dodge the enemies, and that's something that I think Pokemon needs to add into their games. It actually has a good sense of humor too. Like, one of my favorite things is being able to eat the carrot enemies to gain back health. That's kind of unique. But it seems like the biggest theme of this game is love. And to tell you what, I really haven't heard too much about how the story ends, but I heard that you collect party members by actually befriending them. Or not, it's all up to the player. And that's what I really like, choices. It gives the game replayability, which once upon a time wasn't really all that encouraged by RPGs. Besides Chrono Trigger, if I had the time and patience to actually play this game, I would actually think about purchasing it. I don't think it's that bad. bad. But what I don't understand is, why is it taking the internet by storm? I'm hearing people calling this game the next Earthbound, and I'm just saying, no, this has nothing to do with Earthbound besides the humor and maybe some, aesthetic designs. Did I say aesthetic? I mean aesthetic. Point is, Earthbound has done something that no RPG doesn't even do now, and that is create a modern setting where characters can actually go around attack people with baseball bats. But that's why I kind of want to hold off comparing this game to Mother, and I would rather put it in its own category. This game essentially just grabs all the positive things from other games and remix them into its unique way so it's familiar. And I know some people would say that's not original, but you know what? Nothing is original. Everything is based off of something. This channel called Jefferade, you happen to be watching it right now. The only thing that's original is the voice that you're hearing. And all the images and videos that you see is just tightly put together just by me. All for the sake of presentation and entertainment, just like this game. But that's what makes Undertale interesting to me. I want to know what makes it interesting to you. Do you find Undertale innovative? Or do you think it borrows too much elements from other games? Or do you think it's just all hype and people are just gonna, drop off of it just like FNAF eventually? Leave that in the comments, as well a like. Here, and in your mind, because I'm liking you for hitting this video, because that's a choice that you made. Just like Undertale, you can make that choice again by checking out my other videos, because they are always replayable. Good night, everybody! Roll with it.